We learned a lot on Discovery. You know, we set up a pipeline for visual effects and for post and how we build things and, you know, how ships are built and how they look and how to show a space battle. It was such a good testing ground, and it really helped set the tone for what we have now.
Star Trek Discovery has innovated a lot. Everything from our use of LED lights embedded in the sets. Every progressive season, that just got more and more complex. So kudos to the DPs. They really pushed the limits on what you could do with LEDs before anybody was thinking this seriously about LEDs. The other thing that's fascinating is how we've innovated the sets. The virtual production wall, which we call the holodeck. It just expands the universe in ways that are incalculable.
This piece of technology was introduced in season 4, and here you have this space that's, I think it's 11,000 plus screens coming together. It was a head scratcher sometimes because you would be looking at it, our production design and our set design would be, you know, situated to continue to build the world, and then you would go to the monitor in Video Village and it would look real. It would look like it continued forever. It would look like you could put it right on TV.
As amazing as this technology was, I had nothing to compare it to. So we were all kind of figuring it out as we were going along, not just the actors, but the creatives and the director.
The technology is so amazing, and the team that does, our design team and then the team that does the AR wall, all of the technical elements are just all such incredible artists and technicians that we've been able to go to places that we probably wouldn't have been able to go to otherwise.
The wall really allows us to create alien landscapes, alien planets, and it really, for Star Trek, where there's a different adventure every week, there's always a new alien species to visit, or their homeworld is, you know, as well. It just became this amazing opportunity of technology to really explore what was actually available to build out these Star Trek stories.
Starting from not having virtual production to building it to what it is now and having all that, you know, in our pocket and doing it as a team with everybody here has been quite an experience.
I think we all thrived and benefited so much by having those AR walls available. It made the world feel so much more immediate and there.
What a technical, artistic feat. It's like that is such a great example of technology and art coming together. Season 5 is an adventure.
Jean-Luc Picard found a message left by a race of ancient beings.
It's set up really nicely with the first episode, and it continues from there for sure.
We've been calling them the progenitors.
You're wondering who we are, why we have done this.
On the chase, the symbolism of all the next-gen enemies possibly getting along, they took and expanded on for season 5 of Discovery. So I was glad to revisit it.
What we find is that there's this technology that we now have to rescue. This technology was found by Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
When we started talking about season 5, the progenitors was just kind of one of the first places we went to as an idea that we had that we didn't get to explore that we had really wanted to.
I have found myself reviewing that same hologram in my quarters as well.
And The Chase, which is just this wonderful episode, and getting to go and fill in the blanks of what happened after that, what happened after Picard and this group of people saw this video, essentially, of the being that created them all.
Remember us.
The Chase was one of my favorite episodes in TNG, and it was just one of those episodes that got me thinking of life and how life propagated throughout Earth and possibly throughout the solar system.
I get what Michelle was thinking, that there's a world where hopefully all these species can get along. And maybe there's a world where not only can they get along, they can share their beliefs.
I think the world is bigger than our own corner of it.
I am someone who really loves Easter eggs, and something that I like about this season is the fact that it is full of them, and you can kind of appeal to both sides of our fandom with that, both the people who've been watching forever and the people who've maybe just started with Discovery.
I'm especially excited about the ways that we connect to the history always, but in this case, Dr. Aaron McDonald and Dr. Mohammed Noor, who are scientists who consult on our show. I've been to their lectures, and one of the lectures I've been to, they talked about the progenitors. So to get to then see that traced through our show in such a meaningful way is really cool.
Next Gen was my Star Trek. That was my introduction to Star Trek and the universe. It was really informative to me as a young person in terms of my own values and the kind of world that I wanted to help build. So for us to wink and nod and reach out to the Next Gen story feels right for me. It feels like, oh, I'm coming home.
When I got the role, they showed me a picture of what I'm supposed to look like. And I asked, what alien race is this? And they said the Breen.
The Breen have outposts in this sector. The attack on the Vico is consistent with their battle tactics and their level of technology.
We knew that we wanted really scary bad guys for the end of the season, because you're driving there and you really want a big bad guy for our heroes to have to face off with. And the Breen in canon, we don't know that much about them, which is exciting.
Breen? What are they doing here?
My people have a saying, never turn your back on a Breen.
The Breen don't show their faces. The Breen don't take their helmets off ever. The Breen don't speak English. They say, yeah, well, you're going to be the first Breen character who takes off his helmet.
This is Breen.
You're going to be the first time we're seeing what the Breen look like. That got me really excited, not only to be part of Star Trek in general, but to be part of Star Trek history.
It's always intimidating bringing Star Trek lore to the forefront on Discovery because, you're always concerned about how the fans are going to react. But the Breen were a lot of fun. What we do on Discovery is we take something that existed previously in Star Trek history and then just kind of try and update it.
With the Breen at our side, the Federation will not be able to stand against us.
We all just had a lot of questions about the Breen, but what we do know about them, they're ruthless, they're scary. You say the word Breen and people start to shiver.
You're Breen?
My experience as Burnham with the Breen is quite limited. It's from a xenoanthropological perspective and knowing who they are and what they're about.
Do you even know what you're after? What all these clues lead to?
Power beyond all comprehension.
Initially, we think scary, but along the way, we've gotten to know Locke a little bit. And yeah, he's a badass bad guy, but we also see this really soft side from him. And in episode 5, we get the backstory between him and Maul. And we get that he doesn't want to be part of the Breen culture. That's not who he is.
What strikes me as Burnham is you have this Breen soldier who wants out. And I can understand, at least partly, what that might feel like.
Why do you stay here? You hate it.
Where would I go?
This season is very props heavy. It's a lot of fun. The entire season follows an arc of one prop.
In terms of developing the clues, each one of them sort of became organic to the episode itself. We knew that we wanted those clues to be an integral part of each adventure. And we knew that we wanted the clues to teach our heroes something along the way.
The journey of season 5 begins with a prop and ends with a prop, so it's a really exciting season for us where we got to build one element throughout the entire season and sort of kick it off with a really fantastic practical build, which was the Romulan puzzle box that Locke and Maul steal from the Romulan science vessel. This is all real wood, real ingrain, real staining, just a beautiful, very technical piece. Once complete, VFX takes over and does this wonderful reveal of what the real prize was inside of this. And you'll see the Romulan diary Zora creates this map holder, and she builds it to the scale, because once we have key number 1, we know what the scale of this is. So Zora builds this for us. In this corrosive look here, we actually built into the prop the Trill fingerprints. That leads us to Trill, where we run on an adventure with Janal, leading us to our second clue, which is the space coordinates, which we then discover is actually a portal to another dimension where the ISS Enterprise is hiding. And there we have to battle Maul and Locke in order to get key number 3, because they've beaten us to it. This is the tough one. It was like, what is this? And our team struggled with this for a little while until Kovich helps out with a clue, realizing then that we have to go to this very dusty planet to get us our 4th key. And later then we discovered that this, what looks like a scratch on the vial, is actually where key number 4 is hidden. It's in tower number 5. And then we see our team insert that, and then we know that we've got 1 more to go.
Labyrinths of the Mind.
Episode 8 is where, if she passes this test, it will be the very last clue to put all the pieces together to give us the map of where whatever it is that we're going to find is there.
At the University of Toronto, they have a thing called the Rare Book Library, which is the 3rd most important archive in the world.
This library houses some of the oldest books of literature on the planet. It's amazing.
They have like the original first English language book ever printed and things like that. Extremely rare, very important, very valuable stuff. And they've never permitted filming ever.
For that particular episode where Burnham is in a bit of a mindscape, a library felt like the perfect emotional environment.
It was gorgeous, because we needed to believe that this library could be a labyrinth, and a labyrinth of the mind.
It was amazing just to be on location at that library, the Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library, but also to have this crisis of consciousness. Burnham had to ask herself the toughest questions.
Where are the places that she's challenged? How honest can she be with herself? Can she look at herself critically?
I'm gonna finish this mission, and you are going to help.
Throughout that whole episode is about Michael Burnham doing the inner, unpacking, necessary work. And it's the work which good leaders need to do to be effective leaders.
Ultimately, we landed on it being the avatar of Book because that is her primary relationship this season. So it just felt like it made emotional sense that he would be the one that she would try and talk to about these things, and that he would be the one who would kind of come forth in this mindscape.
Hello?
Shh. I'm at a really good part. The energy of this character felt very different to Cleveland Booker. Not only would that help Michael Burnham, but I think it would help the audience. Michael Burnham would become the eyes for the audience. I thought that was really, really important.
We get a glimpse into Burnham's soul in a way like never before.
I'm the program Dr. Derek's created.
So why do you look like you?
My form was generated from your subconscious. So you tell me.
We get to hear these deep fears. It is a true story, and it is an authentic story. And of course, the truth of the matter is that there is no proving or fighting that needs to happen. You matter because you matter.
By the end of the episode, Michael Burnham will understand that she can be great, strong, courageous, broken, weak, vulnerable, all at the same time. And these things can all coexist, and you can still be a great leader.